This is a presentation of WCTV, all volunteer community access television from the Township of Washington.
Good evening. I'm Emily Kratzer, one of the volunteers here at WCTV in Washington Township, broadcasting from Town Hall. And we are going to give you tonight a little bit of a preview, talk with some of the young actors who are involved with the Washington Township Westwood High School spring musical. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Our guests tonight are Mike Egan, Damon Vincenti, Erica Lucas, and Sean Joyce. We welcome back everybody except this is Erica's first time here. Yeah. And let's go around a little bit. You guys, let's talk about the show, the roles you're playing. Mike, lead us off.
Well, I play Marcus Lycus, and I'm basically the buyer and seller of the flesh of beautiful women, which can be taken however you want. But it's like, I interact with the other characters quite a bit because, well, Hero here tries to steal one of my girls to run off into the sunset with her. So.
Okay,
nice
Hero.
All right, my character is Hero, and as Mike said, I fall in love with one of his girls, and the only problem is she is already sold to this great captain, Miles Gloriosus, and I try to get my slave, Pseudolus, to win her for me in any way he can, and in return of him providing the girl for me, I will grant him his freedom.
You're a good man.
Oh, I know.
Let's turn to Erica. What role do you have?
Well, I'm in 8th grade this year, so I have a minor role. I play a eunuch, which is not that many people may know, which is a castrated male. So,
Yes.
My job is to guard the courtesans, the beautiful women that...
She works for me.
Yes, I work for Lycus.
He works for, yeah.
And they're just really silly characters. They're known for their high-pitched voices and just kind of being slaves to authorities.
Mm-hmm. Right, and protecting the women. Protect the women. Sean, talk about your role.
Well, I'm one of the foot soldiers of Miles Gloriosus, and he's really this great stereotypical like Greek Roman general, and we're his soldiers. But while we're supposed to be all rough and tough, we're kind of act as comically throughout the show. We're kind of modeled after the almost Three Stooges type of formula. And we basically follow him wherever he goes, and there's parts where he has us follow other characters, and those are really silly scenes. It's a whole like knockout sequence. It's really, really silly.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in this play, a lot. The wily slave must unite a virgin courtesan with his young smitten master to be freed. And the book, are you using still the book by Bert Chevalev and Larry Gelbart?
I don't know. We
That
just
was
have
the one.
this
Yeah, that was the one
script.
they used on Broadway.
Yeah.
And so when
Oh, we're
Aren't we doing the
the
revival?
original, not the revival.
Yeah.
We're doing the original, not the
Yeah, because there's
revival.
lots of issues with like the CDs being different. Like we used the Nathan Lane
Oh,
in
yeah.
rehearsal. The lines are different than our scripts. It gets
Right.
confusing.
Yeah, right. You were saying earlier that you've looked at the show, you've seen the show, so you've got a feeling for what other actors and actresses have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. What I didn't realize, because I've watched only the modern stuff, is that this whole thing was based on a play by Titus Maccius. Based on the play Titus Maccius by Plautus. So it's like an ancient script. It's
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
wow.
actually, that's
Yeah.
where a lot of the names come
Yeah,
up.
like Miles
Pseudolus.
Gloriosus too
Yeah.
is also one from an old Greek Roman
Right.
playwright.
Yeah, and other people will have to go online and see what the definitions of the names are, but
Yeah.
each name has its own
Yeah,
other meaning.
Pseudolus
Yeah.
being faker. And
Yeah. Who's
what
playing
else?
Pseudolus?
Dan
Obviously,
Robertson.
Dan Robertson.
Dan Robertson. Okay. Dan, you've been pegged. You've been tagged.
The star.
There you go. Let's see. Question here. Pseudolus is a lazy guy. Dan's not lazy, is he?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's anything but
You
lazy.
don't get the
Great
lead
guy.
by being lazy.
That's a great line. You don't
Good
get
point,
the lead
Mike.
by being lazy. No kidding. There's a lot of work that goes into these shows and productions. We're more than a month away, just barely more than a month away from production time. So I know things are going to gear up and get really totally panicked. Little
Oh,
detail
yeah.
called props. What was I hearing about the props?
Oh, it's a hot mess. Yeah, basically, we don't have a single prop. And we're basically right now we're working to get all the props we can. We have cast and crew working out, so it's really great. We have when the leadership isn't there that we step in and help out to get all the props
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's very interesting because basically there's no running crew, so there's no really exchange of props too between
Oh.
the actors and the crew. So it's basically just there's very few props that we have to keep track of. So it's
that's good. That makes it easier.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the set is concrete; it doesn't move at all, so there's
Yeah.
no set changes or anything.
Yeah, that makes production a lot easier.
It does, but I
Absolutely.
feel bad also for writing
Yeah.
crew. They kind of run out of a thing to do,
Yeah.
but they can do other things.
Yeah, they can move on to
There's
other
not
crews
really
to help out.
that
Yeah.
many costume changes either.
Yeah.
Right.
During A Few Good Men, the fall play this year, there were so many quick changes backstage and
Oh.
between scenes.
drowsy.
It was.
Drowsy too.
Drowsy
yeah,
had me
wow.
drowsy with all the
Yeah.
quick changes.
Yeah, right. You guys just mentioned A Few Good Men, and Vincent was in that one too. I'm sorry, Damon was in that one. Duh, I'm getting your last name and your first name mixed
I've
up.
been called Vincent before.
So, what role did you play in that show?
For A Few Good Men, I played Private Loudon Downey.
Why don't we go to that for about 2 minutes? Let's see if we can get. We were lucky enough to get a bit of a clip from the theater department. Well, the film teacher in the theater department on that.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Miss Michelin.
Yeah. Let's
Lazarski.
Lazarski, there we go.
Miss Lazarski,
Yes,
yeah.
I was saying Mr.
That's right. Let's give her credit where credit is due. And let's see. Can we roll a clip?
I thought you might like to have dinner tonight.
Your Honor, I'm going to put a stop to this.
Your Honor, this is a telephone record of all calls made from Gitmo from July 6th. And these are 14 letters written by Santiago requesting, in fact begging, for a transfer off the base. Upon hearing that he was finally being transferred, Santiago was so excited that do you know how many people he called? 0. No one. Not one call to a parent saying he was finally getting out, and not one call to a friend saying he could pick me up at the airport. He was asleep in his bed at midnight, and according to you, he was getting on a plane in 6 hours. And everything he owned was folded neatly in a footlocker and hanging neatly in the closet. He left for 1 day, and you packed the bag and made 3 phone calls. Santiago was leaving for the rest of his life, and he hadn't packed a thing, and he hadn't called a soul. Can you explain that? Fact is, Santiago wasn't going anywhere. Isn't that right?
Object. Your Honor, it's obvious that Lieutenant Cappy's intentions this morning is to smear a high-ranking Marine officer on the desperate hope that the mere appearance of impropriety will win a point with the jury. It's my recommendation, ma'am, that Lieutenant Cappy be reprimanded for his conduct and that the witness be excused with the court's deepest apologies.
Your objection's overruled.
Your Honor,
Your objection's noted.
Colonel? Is this funny, sir?
No, it's not. It's trash.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not. But this is, yes. The fall plays do tend to be more serious,
Yeah,
and the
more
spring
dramatic.
musical,
Yeah.
let's go and have fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Lots of singing and dancing and craziness on stage,
Yeah.
right? Let's see, speaking of the craziness on stage here, Pseudolus has to go through a lot to make sure that he gets his freedom.
Yep.
And there's always shenanigans. And I think Zero Mostel set such a tone, you know, for anybody else to try and follow. What are some of the crosses and double crosses? Let's talk about the plot.
Well, since it's a farce, it's very, I don't want to say confusing to keep track of, but it is. So it's like, basically, Pseudolus just wants to be free, so he's going to do anything he can to be free, which leads to all these situations mixing each other up, and like some characters thinking that something's happening, but it's actually the complete opposite, but the other characters think that that's it. So it's very, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of crossing, double crossing, covering one's tush, and
Yeah,
et
just for
cetera.
a lot of
Yeah.
like certain characters confusing one for one another and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who's going to be playing the Buster Keaton role, Erroneous? Who's got Erroneous?
Oh.
Matt Polanco.
Matt Polanco.
Oh, he's
Okay,
brilliant
Matt, you've been
in it.
tagged.
He was actually Dawson.
He was Dawson.
Dawson in
He was
the
my
previous
partner.
show. Yeah. Very good. That's going to be fun to watch too. He's going to kind of like float back and forth across the stage.
Oh my god.
Third time around.
Third time around, yes, yeah.
Wait till you see it. It's going to be hysterical. Every time that we see it when we're not on stage, it's hysterical what Matt does.
Well, I've always appreciated the talent that comes onto that stage. You guys, all your predecessors, amazing, amazing people. What shows, let's go from Sean around. Tell us a little bit about what shows you've been in. Sean's got quite a history with the Woodies.
Well, this is my first show acting, other than the 1X, but I've been on crew for shows such as You Can't Take It With You, Drowsy Chaperone, which I would say is my personal favorite show because it's just really entertaining, and then A Few Good Men this past fall.
Okay. And Erica's just getting started, so.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Were you in JPAC?
Yes, I was.
All right, JPAC shows.
JPAC. I was in Thoroughly Modern Millie. I played the role of a Priscilla girl named Gloria, and I was also Millie's understudy. I was in 6th grade, so it was really exciting for me. And then the next year, I was Princess Winifred in Once Upon a Mattress.
Oh, great role. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was.
Who were
really
your directors for the JPAC shows?
For the JPAC show in my 6th grade year, Thoroughly Modern Millie, was Mr. Valleys. And in 7th grade, it was Mrs. Bagley.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, she taught at the high school, but then.
Yeah, excellent. Well, you're getting a lot of benefit of her experience. Just let me take one little moment to help our audience, because we've been throwing around some terms that we all know what it means. The Woodies are the Woodington Players, which is a theater group, and JPAC is the Junior Performing Arts Company for the not quite 9th graders, I guess it is.
Middle school.
Middle
School
school.
kids, yeah. And their show is actually going to come up a week after this one, so everybody should go and patronize all of the up-and-coming talent. Okay, what other shows have you done?
Well, my first show with the Woodies was actually Drowsy Chaperone, which I played Gangster Number 2. The next show that I did was A Few Good Men, and now it's this one. But last year I also did 2 one-act plays directed by seniors. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. And Mike?
Well, I actually also started with the Drowsy Chaperone, where I played Feldzig, Mr. Feldzig even, where actually a role that's a lot like Marcus Lycus, because I have my follies and then we have shenanigans and whatnot. But and then I had I was Mickey in The Secret Origins of Mojo Man, which was a one-act directed by seniors last year. And then I was Dan Lanzetta in Scuba Lessons, which was also a one-act. I was Captain Markinson in A Few Good Men, and now I'm Marcus Lycus, and a funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
Very good, very good. Let's see here. Some of the music. Everybody knows Comedy Tonight, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we've got that famous song. What other songs are there going to be in the show?
Want to start,
Well,
Mike?
the House of Marcus Lakers. So, yeah.
All about you, Mike.
Yes. With a lot of the music, you can tell it's a Sondheim show because lots of the shows songs have like Sondheim formulas to them. Like there's this one
Right.
song, "The Dirty Old Man," which is very Sondheim.
Yeah.
You can tell once you start to listen to Sondheim, you can tell like which is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
well,
about- yeah, go ahead.
one of the other songs that we're doing is actually between Hero and Pseudolus, and it's called "Free." And that song is depicting whether or not Hero will grant Pseudolus his freedom only if he can get the girl, Philia, for Hero.
We forgot to ask who's playing Philia.
Caroline.
Caroline
Castino.
Yeah.
Caroline,
Yeah.
you've been tagged.
Actually, there's also a very funny, obviously funny, like song between. It's Philia and Hero at first called "Lovely," where they're singing about how lovely Philia is, and then the
reprise.
The reprise later on is between Pseudolus and Hysterium when Hysterium has to dress up as Philia to solve some of the situations that Pseudolus gets them in.
Yeah.
Reveal.
Yeah.
And really quick to jump in there, Hysterium and Pseudolus are both slaves to the family of Senex, which happens to be Hero's father. And Hysterium has to dress up as Philia to try and persuade the captain that the girl that he paid for fell ill and died. And this is all in order for Pseudolus to be free. So that's just one thing that Pseudolus does.
One of many.
One of many.
Yeah.
And Mike saved me here.
Comedy tonight. We told
Comedy
you.
tonight.
Well, comedy in a couple
Yeah, the
weeks.
songs. How about Everybody Ought to Have a Maid?
Oh,
that's a
Oh,
great one.
that
That's
would be
a
so
great
funny.
one,
That's
too.
gonna be a crowd favorite. I can tell it's gonna be pretty memorable. People are gonna tease them.
Basically, it starts off with only it's
Senex and Pseudolus,
and
yeah.
Pseudolus, and then by the end of the song, it's like, oh, it's over, and there's gonna be applause and whatnot, and then Hysterium walks over, and then they start the song again, and then it's over, and then they start the song again, and I show up, and then some other stuff might happen.
Some other stuff might happen, yeah, indeed. Indeed. Your director is Donna Bialkin, who couldn't be with us tonight. Sorry, Donna. Wish we were here. We're all very fond of her. She's shepherded a lot of productions in the school over the years and does a lot of work, gives a lot of notes, which is a polite way of saying, get your act together, right? I know you guys are going to get a lot of feedback from her and encouragement too. She's a good teacher.
Yeah.
She's a good teacher. She knows her stuff. Who's working on sets this year? Who's helping build sets?
I actually am helping out build sets.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Brian Mikulowski.
Brian.
Yeah, and also
Yeah,
the
Brian.
teacher, Mrs. Keller, usually helps
Yes.
out with
With
the
the
art
art
crew,
crew.
With the artwork.
designing,
Yeah.
not building so
Yeah.
much as designing the houses and everything.
Who's doing the building? Who's supervising building? Do you know?
That would be Brian.
Yeah,
Brian.
Mr.
Mikulowski.
Mikulowski.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, yeah. We want to give credit where credit is due. You know, you see all that stuff on the stage, and you don't realize how much goes into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that work, the actual work. Yeah. So there's so many layers to theater. You know, it's not just what happens on the stage with the actors.
Yeah, it's even hard with performing. Like you won't notice that the opening number, which is maybe 8 minutes long, took like 20 hours to fully put together.
If
Yeah.
not
There you go.
more.
If
Yeah.
not more, and then
yeah.
it's not
More.
just one stage. It's let's start it from the top again, and then we go
right.
from the top and then do it all over again. It takes a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's the mental form of muscle memory.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to know your cues.
Yeah,
You have to
especially
know
with
your
the show
cues.
because you're so all
Yeah.
over the place. You have to be like as soon as someone walks off, you have to come on, etc.
Yeah.
The whole chase scene in
Oh.
Act 2. Oh.
That's fun.
That's
But
a
the
handful.
choreography of a
It's-
chase. You have to choreograph
Oh,
that.
I know.
Absolutely.
You have to-
Everything you see, even if it looks sporadic and people are just running around, every
Oh, it's
movement
like
is planned.
heavily rehearsed.
Oh,
Heavily rehearsed
Yep.
chases.
Yeah.
Have it, and it's a little
doesn't just
details.
happen.
It's not just one. It's like oh, maybe turn this way a little
Yeah.
more. It's the
Yeah.
tiniest details
Yeah.
that people
Right.
don't notice.
Yep.
Right, exactly. and in the audience, you're just thinking, boy, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And what's really fun is then afterwards, when you guys get off behind the stage, you go, why didn't you turn when you were supposed to? Or, all of those kinds of crazy things, those little things that the audience doesn't notice. And you guys are like going to have a great laugh about it afterwards.
Yeah.
I hope a laugh.
No, we just scold them and excommunicate them from the Wooding Suite.
Right?
Well, that's after the show. That's after the show.
After the show.
Oh, they're not supposed
yes.
to know about
That's supposed to know. Forget what I said.
Yeah. Oh, there's what is it? What happens on stage will stay on stage.
Yes.
Yep.
Something like that. Oh boy. So let us take a look here. There you go. There's our basic information. I want to point out that the show is not going to be held on Thursday. It's on Wednesday, Friday, and 2 shows on Saturday. So 7 o'clock
a matinee
Wednesday.
and then the original show.
Yeah,
1
7
o'clock
o'clock Friday,
I think, matinee.
1 o'clock, and 7 o'clock
And
on
7 o'clock.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sorry, Saturday. No Sunday show, Saturday. Tickets are $10 in advance. For students and senior citizens, it's also $10. If you show up at the door, it's $12 for adults.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get tickets by, or at least reserve tickets, by emailing woodiestickets@gmail.com, and that's WOODIES tickets@gmail.com. It's Westwood Regional Junior Senior High School's Campbell Auditorium, 701 Ridgewood Road in Washington Township. And those are the basic bits of information. You can also find that information you see on the screen at the www.rsd.org website for the district if you drill down to the junior senior high school and the clubs and activities. So it's there. Let's go around a little bit and talk about things you want to do in the future. Mike and Sean are seniors. What's happening? What's going on next?
A lot of crazy stuff, I guess. Getting into college, then figuring out how to pay for it, and then thinking about how to make a unstable career as an actor work out, I guess.
How's your waiting skills?
Good.
Good. Yes. Yeah. Right. Let's see. Let's go with Sean since you're the senior. What's next for you, Sean?
Well, I really want to go into the arts and entertainment business, but more along the not backstage, behind the scenes, more like PR, marketing, those forms of things instead of actually like on screen or on stage.
A little more stable income.
Yeah.
Once you get on board, yeah.
Yeah, and going to college and a similar major.
Yeah. Do you guys have any plans for which colleges yet? Are we still in the
one of
hoping
them.
stage? Yeah.
I got accepted to Pace University in the city.
Very good.
So I want to go there, but what I might do is do Bergen Community for like 2 years, get prerequisite classes out of the way for, that much cheaper,
Yeah.
and then just be able to transfer and take the core classes.
Yeah. And there's some good stuff they do at the Chacon Theater, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Mike, have you kind of settled on where you're headed yet or not?
I've been looking at quite a few schools, AMDA more specifically, but I'm also going to do what Sean said, where do the prerequisites in Bergen and then transfer out to like get your credits out of the way so you can do what you want to do.
But I think that's a really good idea in general. I think some people play down the importance of the community colleges, but they are very good, and they're an important part of the process.
Yeah.
Especially it's good at Westwood because I'm actually in 2 classes right now, marketing and then contemporary global issues that are dual credit.
Yeah.
So I get the credit for high school and also they count as college courses.
That's excellent.
So I get those out of the way for like so much, like a lot cheaper than if I took them ever again.
Yeah. Right indeed. So Damon, where else are you looking at in the future?
Well, as a freshman, I haven't honestly,
got a clue.
I honestly haven't even started looking yet.
Yeah.
But you should start. Thank you, Mike. So I've grown to love being on stage and being around all the people that I'm with in the Woodies and from JPAC and all that. I've just grown to love acting and being on stage with friends, and I've honestly been starting to call them family now because they've gotten so close.
Yeah.
And other than that, aside from the performing arts perspective, I'm more interested in sciences, kind of like chemistry or astronomy. But the only thing I don't like about astronomy is the possibility of physics. I'm taking that class right now, and
It's a
I
challenge.
regret it.
It's a
What if your
challenge.
teacher hears this?
Yeah. I think the teachers have a clue.
I won't tell him.
Well, they're there to help you through it too,
Yeah.
so they'll encourage you.
Mhm.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because theater is a great opportunity to develop speaking skills, presence, stage management of your own body. But it doesn't have to be your whole life, and the idea that you have other options and things you want to do is important. The camaraderie you talk about, it is like a family. There is a real sense of cohesiveness in that group, and
absolutely.
it's great when you feel like you're part of it.
I think a lot because we spend basically every day of the week together for like at least 3 hours every day. So you kind of have to eventually start liking the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you some
Or at
stories
least
from way
pretend
back.
to like it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, right. So we've kind of covered anything that I had on my notes. I don't know. Have you thought, Erica, what you're going to do in the future? Or you're just kind of like waiting and taking it as it comes?
Well, I have been thinking about what I want to do as a major, not really schools in particular. I would like to maybe go into writing and publishing, writing for newspapers maybe. But I'd also like to keep theater as a hobby, if not a second major, for just to kind of fall back on, because that's what I love to do. And the industry isn't really stable in theater. People are getting like thrown off shows and all the time, and I don't know, the thought of that kind of makes me a little nervous, so I always want to have like a backup plan.
Yeah, and you know what this can do? It can help you be a writer about theater. It's
That'd be
very
nice.
true. Entertainment writing. One of the Westwood residents who I used to work with works for the newspaper up in Rockland, Westchester, and right now he's busier than something else I won't say, but he literally goes out and covers spring musicals in the readership area there, and it's an amazing job that he does. I'll have to give kudos to him. But that's an option. You know it from the inside. You know who to ask about what the plays are and who's doing the roles and how it's going to go on stage and all of that.
Theater is probably my first choice, but I'd like to take up English just in case things don't work out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. English or writing. Writing for journalism and newspapers, and I can't just say newspapers, but writing even for the digital formats is different than creative writing. Very different, much more direct, and you have to get your audience right away, which is kind of like with the plays and the plays that you're doing, you have to get your audience right away with a dynamic start.
Yeah. That's why we're spending so much time on the opening number.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to make a good first impression, or else the audience won't pay attention to the rest of the show. They won't recognize how good you are if you don't make a good first impression. That's what Bea always tells us.
Yeah.
And she's doing an awesome job.
She absolutely
If
is.
you don't have them laughing in the first 3 minutes, they're probably going to not like it.
Fall asleep halfway through.
That's right. We're reminding our audience the information about the play production. And what we can do is share with you as we go out and as we exit here at WCTV in Washington Township. I want to just thank our crew that's been on tonight, Larry and Ida, Rick and Fred, and to let everybody know that they're welcome to join our crew anytime. We like people to come up and help us out with technical work and with any other kind of talents and skills they can contribute. What we're going to do is as we exit, we'll be talking. You all won't be able to hear us, but you want to sing? Can we sing comedy tonight?
I think we're gonna need Dan. He sings most of it.
We'll start from the entire company.
You can go see the show.
You can go see the show. Well, they're declining to ham it up here for us. But what we'll do as we say goodnight this evening is we'll cut to some more of the footage from A Few Good Men, and have a good evening, everyone. Come down and make sure and see these folks in about a month at the high school.
Why did you make that call, sir?
I thought she might like to have dinner tonight.
Your Honor, I'm going to put a stop to this.
Your Honor, this is a telephone record of all calls made from Gitmo from July 6th. And these are 14 letters written by Santiago requesting, in fact begging, for a transfer off the base. Upon hearing that he was finally being transferred, Santiago was so excited. Did you know how many people he called? 0. No one. Not one call to a parent saying he was finally getting out, and not one call to a friend saying he could pick me up at the airport. He was asleep in his bed at midnight, and according to you, he was getting on a plane in 6 hours. And everything he owned was folded neatly in a footlocker, hanging neatly in the closet. He left for 1 day, and you packed the bag and made 3 phone calls. Santiago was leaving for the rest of his life, and he hadn't packed a thing, and he hadn't called a soul. Can you explain that? Fact is, Santiago wasn't going anywhere. Isn't that right?
Object. Your Honor, it's obvious that Lieutenant Cappy's intentions this morning is to smear a high-ranking Marine officer in the desperate hope that the mere appearance of impropriety will win a point with the jury. It's my recommendation, ma'am, that Lieutenant Cappy be reprimanded for his conduct and that the witness be excused with the court's deepest apologies.
Your objection's overruled.
Your Honor.
Your objection's noted.
Colonel? Is this funny, sir?
No, it's not. It's tragic.
Do you have an answer?
Absolutely. My answer is I don't have the first damn clue. Maybe he was an early riser and he liked to pack in the morning. And maybe he didn't have any friends. I'm an educated man, but I believe I can't speak intelligently about the travel habits of William Santiago. What I do know is that he was set to leave the base at 0600. Now, are those really the questions I was called here to answer? Phone calls and footlockers? Please tell me you have more, counselor. 2 Marines are on trial for their lives. Please tell me their lawyer hasn't pinned their hopes down to a phone bill.
Lieutenant Caffey. Lieutenant, do you have anything further to this witness?
Thanks, Dan. I love Washington.
Excuse me. I didn't dismiss you.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not through with my examination. I didn't dismiss you. Sit down.
Colonel.
What's that?
I would like to be addressed as Colonel or Sir. I believe I've earned it.
The defense counsel will address the witness as Colonel or Sir.
I don't know what the hell kind of an outfit you're running here.
And the witness will address this court as Judge or Your Honor. I'm quite certain I've earned that. Sit down, Colonel.
What would you like to discuss now? My favorite color?
Colonel, the 6 a.m. flight. It was the first one off the base?
Yes.
There wasn't a flight that left 7 hours earlier and landed at Andrews Air Force Base at 2 a.m.
I thought we covered this.
Your Honor, in just a moment, the defense will be calling Airman Cecil O'Malley and Airman Anthony Perez. Airman O'Malley and Perez were working the ground crew on the morning of the 7th.
Your Honor, these men aren't on the list.
Rebuttal witnesses, Your Honor, called specifically to refute testimony under direct examination.
I'll allow the witnesses.
Colonel, a moment ago, you were saying...
Check the tower logs, for Christ's sake.
We'll get to the airman in just a moment, sir. A moment ago, you said that you gave Kendrick an order to tell his men not to touch Santiago.
That's correct.
And Kendrick was clear on what you wanted.
Crystal.
Any chance he ignored the order?
Ignored the order?
Any chance he just forgot about it?
No.
Any chance he walked out of your office and said, the old man's wrong?
No.
And when Kendrick had the meeting with his men, any chance they ignored him?
You ever serve in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Ever serve in a forward area?
No, sir.
Ever put your life in another man's hands? Ask him to put his in yours?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal. Colonel, I have just one more question before I call Airman O'Malley. If you gave an order for Santiago not to be touched, then why would it be necessary to transfer him off the base?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that?
If you gave an order for Santiago not to be touched, then why would...
Private Santiago is being transferred because he was a substandard Marine.
But that's not what you said. You said he was being transferred because he was in grave danger.
Yes, that's correct.
You said he was in danger. I said grave danger. Then you said...
Yes, I recall what I said.
I can have the reporter read back to you what you
I
said.
know what I said. I don't need it to be read back to me like I'm a damn child.
Then why the 2 orders? Colonel? Why did you...
Because sometimes men take matters into their own hands.
No, sir. You made it clear just a moment ago that your men never take matters into their own hands. Your men follow orders or people die. So Santiago shouldn't have been any danger that night, should he have? It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? Paradox is
You little bastard.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess too.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
That makes two of us.
If you gave an order for Santiago not to be touched, then why would it be necessary to transfer him off the base? Colonel? Can't you go to the code red? Because that's what you told him to do.
Object!
And when things went bad, you cut these guys loose.
Your Honor!
Yet Margaret's inside a phony transfer order.
Your Honor!
Where's the doctor?
Damn it, Kathy!
Doctor, the luck.
Consider yourself
I'll
a
ask
cat.
for the fourth time. If you
Do you want answers?
I think I'm entitled to them.
Do you want
I
answers?
want the truth.
You can handle the truth. Because the truth is, we live in a world that has walls. And those walls need to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. The luxury of the blind. The luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You can't handle it because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as a backbone to a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I'd prefer you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you grab a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn about what you think you're entitled to.
You wanted the code red.
I did the job you sent me.
You wanted the code red.
You're goddamn right I did.
Please the court. I suggest the members be dismissed so that we can move to an immediate Article 39A session. The witness's rights. Jack?
I confirm.
The sergeant at arms will take the members of the jury to an anteroom to wait until further questions.
What the hell's going on? Captain, what the hell's going on? I'm not familiar with an Article 39A. I did my job, I'd do it again. Now I'm getting on a plane and going back to my base.
Guard the prisoner.
What?
MPs guard the prisoner.
I order a code red and everyone's going to pieces like a ladies' auxiliary.
Colonel Jessup, you have the right to remain silent. Any statement you do
I'm being
may be
charged
used
with a
against you
crime?
in a trial run by a court.
Is that what this is? I'm being charged with a crime?
You have the right to consult with a
This
lawyer
is
prior to
fine.
questioning.
This is
lawyer
really-
may be a military.
I'm gonna tear the eyes out of your head and piss on your dead skull! You messed with the wrong
Colonel Jessup,
Marine!
do you understand these rights? I've just read them to you.
You people. You have no idea how to defend a nation. All you did was weaken a country tonight, Cappy. That's all you did. Give yourself a pat on the back. You put people's lives in danger. Sweet dreams, son.
Don't call me son. I'm a lawyer and an officer of the United States Navy. And you're going to jail, you son of a bitch. The witness is dismissed.
Left, right, sound, stand left. 3, 4, sound off, right, left, stand right.
On the charge of murder in the second degree, the members find the defendants not guilty. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, the members find the defendants not guilty. On the charge of conduct unbecoming a United States Marine, the members find the defendants guilty as charged. The defendants are hereby sentenced to time served in the brig up until this point and are to be dishonorably discharged from the Marine Corps. This court-martial is adjourned.
10 cut.
Why?
Harold, I'm sorry.
Why? I don't understand.
It's not as bad as it seems.
Colonel Jessup said he ordered the code red.
I know, but he...
Colonel Jessup said he ordered the code red. What we do wrong?
Listen, it's...
What we do wrong?
Ask Dawson.
We did nothing wrong.
Sure you did.
Hal? We did nothing wrong.
Yes, you did. A jury just said your conduct was unbecoming a Marine. What does that mean?
You're the lawyer.
You're the Marine.
Not anymore.
What were you supposed to fight for?
People who couldn't fight for themselves.
What were you supposed to fight for?
Willie. We were supposed to fight for Willie Santiago.
No further questions.
Kathy, I gotta take these guys behind the personnel for some paperwork.
Howard,
Sir?
you don't need to wear a patch on your arm to have honor.
Tonight, there's an officer on deck.
They're dismissed.
Airmen Cecil O'Malley and Anthony Perez. What are they, second base from Sourcesoft to Toledo Mudhens?
I wouldn't lie to the court, Jack. Airman O'Malley and Perez were working the ground crew in the morning of the 7th.
Then they saw the plane land.
They never said that.
Good job.
Get people out of case, Jack.
I'll see you around campus. I have to go arrest Kendall.
Tell him I said hi.
So how about a celebration? I'm buying. Sam?
I think I'm gonna go home and talk to my daughter. She's gotta be bilingual by now.
So what's next for you?
Staff Sergeant Hector Baines, who's found going to the movies on company time. What about you?
Me? Oh, you know, the usual.
Just annoying people?
Yeah. So how about it? Want to drink?
Well, I'll hook up with you later. I'm gonna get started on Hector Baines. Stay back home for a while.
You are like 7 of the strangest men I've ever met.
Lift your head and lift it high. Daniel Cappy's passing by.